Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about this one here tonight. Live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and wrestling matters here. And this man is much anticipated in his return to Sportswire Radio. He has a lot to talk about here. He has a lot to talk about, especially in the world of his in-ring career. And is it the final say on his career? He'll talk about it. If you've seen Anniversary 3, you'll know what I'm talking about. We'll also talk about what's next here in ROEW. We'll talk about 2026. You've heard from a few wrestlers in ROEW, one who just got his job back and is now an outlaw, and another one who certainly has quick striked his way to the top of the underground, you might want to say, with the help from this guy. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about another 7-star match. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll also talk about maybe some others in ROEW that have made some improvements. We'll also talk about Cash Carter. We'll talk about maybe that passing of the torch. We'll also talk about some of your comments. We'll also make some announcements, and we'll also give this man something. Yes, we will give him something, and he'll have plenty to say because a lot of people have been waiting for this one. Now, I know it's been a minute. I think you made a cameo a few months back, but you haven't had one of these in about a year or so, give or take. So I'm going to have to give you an introduction. Raven didn't want it, but my guest, which we'll talk about the next 2 days, wanted it. You have to get it because you've meant so much, whether you admit it or not, or sometimes you like to, sometimes you don't. You do mean a lot to the underground wrestling community and really the wrestling community as a whole. Certainly Ask James Fury, but I'm now going to introduce this man here and get a very busy next few days here off in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show. A man that is truly a 7-star superstar, 7-star superstar. The man that has been at the forefront of one of the premier companies, not just in the backyard, the underground, but the entire wrestling circuit, ROEW. His name is simply put, the God Guy. CJ Back! The good guy is here, my friend. How are we doing? And welcome home.
You can cut the stream. We're done. That was perfect. Let's go. Take it home.
Well, spoiler alert, when I had on Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, who's here tomorrow, that's what he actually pretty much said. Oh boy, we can now stop the interview, but that's okay. Well, you could go. No, actually, that was my guest after that, Dangerous Toys guitarist Scott Del Hoover. But no, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell actually he was a great guy. We'll talk about him later, but it's so good to see you. There is a lot to talk about, and I see a lot of people already here in the chat as expected because you haven't been here, and you certainly have a final say on some things that you like to get off your chest.
Maybe not so much anymore. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm sure that you would like to talk about some things. I mean, Johnny Velocity certainly had some quick strike-like comments on Friday's show. Jason Storm, the Outlaw, who has his job back in ROW, and he had to certainly claw his way to get that job back. He had some things to say, and some were up, some were down, but I think by and large, it was a good positive conversation from the Outlaw, and I'm sure you'll piggyback off that. But I guess then we'll start it off, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you and ROEW most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio, talk about the final say on your in-ring career that just took place at Anniversary 3.
Oh, it's a little bittersweet. But at some point, everyone's got to have their last match. I decided, it's time for mine. And I have a whole bunch of reasons. I'm sure, people have asked, and maybe they're going to ask again tonight. If you want me to get to that now, I can. If you want to wait till somebody shows that they're interested,
I think people are interested in you right now in the chat. I don't think that people want to hear you. You're like Jason and you. It's funny, you, Jason, and Johnny don't come on here that often, so people would like to hear what you have to say. You know that. Okay,
so I got a whole bunch of first of all, if anybody also has any questions they want answered, just about anything,
I'll put them up in the chat right away. Yeah, we won't even wait. That's fine.
Perfect. Sure. If I absolutely can't answer it, I'll plead the fifth, and I'll just. But
great answer. Great. That's my answer to a lot of things these days.
All right. So when I first came back to this, I wanted to have one more match to basically, rewrite my legacy, because I left it and the old channel on a highlight video. And Jason gave me that match, and honestly, it was good enough for me. Honestly, it was like that would have worked. Mm-hmm. And then people started showing interest, and then it all became what it became. Yeah. As far as why I stopped, there's a lot of different reasons, but the main one is I injured my back like a while ago, like even before I started wrestling. I don't even remember how I did it, but it's been bad since then. I'm to the point now where I can't even sleep laying down. Like I wake up every morning at 3
a.m. You have a sleep disorder like Raven does? Because Raven has this sleep disorder where he can't sleep. Are you and Raven in the same category now?
Maybe. Oh, no. He might be worse. I don't know. I don't want to take too much credit away from him.
No, it's okay. I'm sure he'll be happy to.
But no, like if I lay flat or on my stomach, on my side, whatever, I get the same spot right in the back, just 3 a.m., wakes me up, and I can't get back to sleep. And it starts taking its mental toll on you when it's happening every single night, and you still have a life to live,
Sure.
And I didn't want to blame wrestling, but I can't imagine that continuing wrestling would help. So I made the decision to stop doing it. That's all. So that's the main reason.
That's it. Listen, that's a fair assessment. Listen, Jim Brunzell, which will be here tomorrow, he talks about his injuries and what he's still going through, and he's been out of wrestling since the year 2000. We're talking 25 years. So I guess that's a point that a lot of wrestlers are going to face. But Johnny's hanging on. Johnny's doing another 6 or 7 months. There's other guys out there that are contemplating this decision, but are hanging on. And why not? Maybe try it under a different way, or maybe try something else to help you, or you say no?
I feel like I've tried everything I can. Like I've tried chiropractors, I tried the doctor, and I feel like it's a bigger issue than just like needing my back cracked. And then when I tell these people these things, like, help me, and they're just like, oh, you got back pain? Yep, that's how it goes. No, help me get better. Here's what it is. But hold on. Speaking of Johnny Velocity, all right.
Let's talk about Johnny.
Comeback wrestler of the year, hands down. And I even told him that, like, everything he went through last year, and then to come back this year, and he had that 7-star match with me, put in the work for it.
Yes.
He did a lot this year, honestly. Him and Forsaken with that dog collar match, I really enjoyed that.
Matthew Forsaken's an interesting guy.
Yeah. Him and even Kyle Kaplan at the anniversary show. That was
Kyle. I tell you what, Kyle has made a lot of improvements. I was talking about it when Jason was here. I think Kyle has improved a lot. He's lost a lot of weight. You could see it in his match with Johnny at Anniversary. I think he's actually done some good things. I know some things people may feel he should or should not have said, but I do think that he has made a lot of improvements, and he was the All Wrestling Matters champion. He was the champion.
I'm going to back him up on that. Okay. I think this is entertainment. Okay. So we're trying to build something with him, and it was the IMF guys that, he was pissing off, and I get it. But if this was like the 80s, he would have been the perfect heel. He would have been stabbed in the parking lot, and he would have been happy about it. Like, that's what he wanted.
Sure.
But, it just is what it is. He did a good job at being a heel, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's what it is. I mean, look, people, it's wrestling. I understand where you're coming from. That's why I kind of, I was like, listen, I'll let the process play out. Trust the process, as one of my friends said. But I think that there's no question that there's been a lot of improvement. But are you going to miss this at all? I mean, if this is the end, if this is truly the end, I mean, will you miss getting up there? Because, I mean, right now, you're at the pinnacle. I mean, you have all these 7-star matches. You go out there, your ring condition, what you've done out there. Johnny and Jason have talked a lot about that. Other guys talk about you. James Fury, who's been on here, has praised you at length about what you do out there in this ring. And you're at the pinnacle right now. You're at the pinnacle, and you're going right on top, I guess. Or maybe tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'll definitely miss it. And I've already gotten an opportunity offered to me that would make me look like Mick Foley. And I can't do that. I'm trying, I got to be a man of my word. But going forward next year, I'm still going to be involved. I'm just not going to be wrestling. So,
well, yeah. I mean, I would think. I mean, you love this sport too much. I mean, to be, not in the ring is one thing, but to totally give it up, and I mean, I don't know why you would want to give up. I mean,
Yeah. So next year, I'll still be helping out all the guys. I'll still be helping training and producing and everything I do behind the scenes. But then also, I'm going to do something new. And people are going to be like, what? That's dumb. But it's going to be a fun new thing for me. I'm going to be a referee.
No, you know what? I got to tell you, that's not a dumb thing. I will actually say something. I have a friend of mine who was a college basketball player, and years ago I interviewed him, and he actually said one of the most difficult things to do was to be a referee. He went to the training, he did the whole thing. It's a little different in wrestling. You have a little more experience because you've seen this stuff, but to be a referee, no. Listen, let me tell you, there's a guy that's an NBA referee right now, Haywood Workman, for those that are, in one state in Indiana, that he was a famous player for the Pacers, and he learned to become a referee. So, I mean, listen, being a referee, there are people out there that, would kind of sleep on it, but I think that why not? Why not?
I just feel like some people are going to be like, CJ Black as a referee. It's not going to be any sort of like gimmick or character work as a referee, just non-biased. I'm there to help. That's what I'm going to be doing next year. So,
hey, listen, I mean, Jacob Collins, former ROEW world champion, was the referee in Anniversary 3. So, I mean, listen, he's made that transition in ROEW, and I put the matchup, which was rated 7 stars by the one and only Copper Dragon, between you and Johnny Velocity. I know you've talked about it with Johnny. Johnny was here on Friday's show. Yes, we're gonna get to people in the chat. I'm gonna let you talk about this for a few minutes. I think people are already want to talk to you. So you got what you wanted, and from that standpoint. But I know you've talked about it with him on his channel. But for you, what made this match stand out and was so special?
I loved how much preparation we put into this, and we executed it just the way I wanted it. My goal when we first started RWW back up with me and Jason, I wanted to stand out and do more things the way a pro would. And I think I still call him Kron behind the scenes, but Johnny Velocity.
I've gotten used to it. I'm with it.
We could talk about that too coming up. But I don't know, just the things that he was doing in this match. Like I watch it a lot. I know he told me he watches it every day pretty much. And I'm close to that. But
I've watched it, I think, like 6 times now. So this is my 6th time.
Just everything he was doing, from the counters of the chain wrestling, we kept working on it, and he did it really good. The shoulder tackle bump, he did amazing. Let me take a drink real quick.
Take your time. I know you haven't done this in a minute, so
Um,
take it. This is my third time today doing this, so trust me, I
yeah, you're
understand.
used to talking a lot.
Yeah, it's
You're
my
good.
third time, and yesterday I did it twice because I do a show covering politics somewhere else, and it was like I literally my co-host Heshy Tischler, he slipped on a street pole and couldn't talk, so it was basically like I was doing a Flair promo for an hour on the radio. So yeah, I got you. I hear your pain.
Well, I hope that's not me.
No, it
There's one
won't be
thing he
you. Trust
does
me. Yeah, it won't be.
in this match, the way he sells my backbreaker, it reminds me of Shawn Michaels, like just the way he flings his body around. And
Mm.
especially even with those tights he's wearing, it's like that looked like Shawn Michaels, man. Like good for you.
Yeah. One of the things that Johnny talked about, not just about this match, but his run in ROEW, which I thought was so fascinating to me, was that he's transitioned himself to be a different wrestler. Everybody knew him in the past before he came to ROEW as a hardcore wrestler, a guy that would do all these matches, the stuff with Omen at Summer Bash and some of the other stuff he did in DKW, his company, IMF, when he would wrestle there, but he's really transformed himself into a totally different wrestler. I mean, talk to me about how he's been able to make that transition that you've been so close to him with an ROEW the last year.
The biggest thing with him is he's always really eager to learn. And if he doesn't get it right away, he literally will not stop practicing it. And that's perfect. Like that's what you want. You want someone that's dedicated. And that's him. That's him in a nutshell.
He wanted to learn. That's an important thing. He came in there and he wanted to better himself, and he also had made the point that that's actually given his career that another 6 months, 7 months left. I mean, that's something. But I got to ask you because I know you're saying your in ring career is over. We were talking about this about Johnny and his final opponents, and unfortunately, that would take you off the list of being his final opponent next year. I mean, do you have a thought on who would potentially be Johnny's final opponent since you're now off the list, as you say?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard the match that he wanted. I wish I would have heard that like, maybe either last year or more recent than, a year away from now. But um see, it all depends on everybody's schedule because if we don't have them for the full year, I'm not sure yet. Then
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I'm gonna make sure it's special for him. That's for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I mean, Jason had spoke about it, and going from an ROEW lens, we know the matches that Johnny has had with Cash Carter, who is the man that ended your in ring career, and I think right now it seems like other than your work with Johnny's best matches have been with your brother, the current ROEW world champion. So I would have to think then that Cash Carter would naturally be selected as that potential final opponent there for Johnny.
Oh man, he would have such a big ego if he took out both of us. I don't know if we could do that.
Okay, well, naturally, Johnny had talked a lot about his matches with Cash, and certainly we know that. Okay, that's fair. No, that's totally fair. Fair. I mean, I get that. I get that. I mean, but when you and Johnny had this match, and Copper rated 7 stars. I mean, you've done this now multiple times. You knew right away 7 stars.
Uh, I didn't know if it was gonna be 7 stars in his eyes, but I do know like when I watched it back, it was very professional looking with the way we were doing
Yeah.
everything and the structure of the match. So I was expecting him to catch on to that when he watched it, and I was like, I hope that's enough. But I agreed with him with a lot of things, like the referee, not good at all. But this was his first time ever doing anything like this, and we absolutely needed a referee, and he showed up, so we had to use him, which
Well,
is
that's
why I
your
want to
point
be
about being
referee.
a referee. That's a great point. That's a reason why being a referee is extremely important because you have a referee that may not have the same experience or may not be able to see the same things that you would see with all of your experience out there in the ring and also helping produce one of the premier companies around.
Yep. Oh God,
Yeah.
I
Well,
love that
Johnny's
part.
gonna
I
Johnny's gonna
wouldn't take that, but he did. So good for him.
Well, I mean, Johnny definitely felt that. He definitely was in some pain, understandably so, I guess. But you were happy, nevertheless. But I mean, so you have this last match with Cash, and what are you gonna miss most about being in the ring? There has to be things you're gonna miss out there.
Oh, beating the hell out of somebody and just people hating me. I mean, I guess they could still hate me, honestly, but hating this CJ Black character,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess in a way it is me, like they always say, turned up to 100.
Mm-hmm.
But behind the scenes, a lot of people know that I'm not that much of an ass, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny's talked about it when he's been here. I mean, we know when Jack Delta was here many times in the past, he talked about what it was like being in ROEW compared to other places. I mean, Jacob Collins has been here in the past. I mean, Matthew Forsaken's been here, but he really, he's Matthew Forsaken. So we'll certainly, leave that. Jason, was here, and we know how much he's talked about ROEW. And, Kyle Keplin has been here before. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people, and I know guys like Soldier and Omen have been to ROEW and they've raved about the experience. And yeah, I mean, a lot of guys have. I mean, so, I mean, people are happy, right? I mean, if people weren't happy, they wouldn't be coming.
Yeah, maybe all the stories about me aren't true, so that's good.
Well, I mean, look, right now, I mean, it seems like if Johnny's here and Johnny's wrestling and other guys like Forsaken and Kyle, I think you guys have something going. And talk to me about the adjustment from going outdoors to indoors. How has that been like in the second half of the season, going from indoor to outdoor?
Part of me was so excited for being outdoors because we had so much more room. So that was
Sure.
nice. But now now we're seasonal. So that kind of sucks. We're used to doing this, for the past 2 or 3 years, I think
Yeah.
3 years, nonstop, like WWE would do. And now we're just on break. It's weird.
Well, that's sometimes a good thing to be, on break. I mean, Jim Brunzell was here and he was talking about how wrestlers didn't get breaks. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to look at some of the things you like about the product and other things maybe you'd like to adjust with, and maybe that'll make for an even better product, and also maybe for the fans get them more excited about what's to come in 2026.
Oh yeah. Something else I miss too is the studio feel. I miss the lights. It was such a good look. I
Yeah.
do enjoy the red stage we have on the outdoors.
It adds something. No, I mean, look, there's pros and cons to everything, and there was the match that was rated 7 stars. I see people here in the chat. I'm going to get to them shortly because you want to talk to the people. But there was the match, and this was the one that was rated 7 stars. And we're here with the 7-star superstar, the good guy CJ Black, and he wants to talk to the people. You got people here. I'm going to give them the opportunity, and we'll do it here first. And speaking of people that are shocked you're here, that is Mr. Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, who was messaging me earlier today. I think he did. Was it yesterday or the day before? But I forget. But he's here. He's first. And speaking of people who are second, usually would be first. And Zilla's obviously had a big crush on your brother, which I know you are not too happy about. Certainly, that is Zilla. And Zilla would like to say hello. Speaking of other people that were in your chair on Sunday, Aaron Blaze, a man that obviously was a big part of ROEW last year. His matches with the likes of Cash Carter and Jacob Collins and also Jack Delta. Would like to say hello. Thank you, Aaron. Also, yes, hello. And the man that you knew would be here, Mr. Johnny Velasi. Very happy about this. Loved seeing Johnny back on here. Hello from Camo Cam and the IMF gang. Yes, hello. Who else we have here? Well, he's here right now. So Sean Jovi's obviously, he's starstruck, but he's also a resident rock star. You're a 7-star superstar. Who else we have here? Speaking of people that were a big topic a few days ago, Jason Storm, the outlaw Jason Storm, and wanted to say that he's taping in at work for this one. So, Jason's back in ROEW. He has his job. You have certainly had a checkered history with him, I guess, on screen these past few years, but he's back and He's talked about his way to get back to the top in 2026. He's doing things differently, and he had a lot to say about that on Saturday's show.
Is this where I pull back the curtain? Because I could pull back the curtain on it. I think
It's up.
it might
I
be
mean, it's
time.
up to you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's I mean, obviously, the time. I think what you're referring to is the time last that Jason was here, which was right around August, right around the end of August. He was here, and at that time, he announced that he was no longer a part of ROW, but thankfully, he's in ROW once again. I believe you're referring to that moment, and at that time, he was the puppet master, but now he's an outlaw. Yes.
Yeah, I'll go into it. I'm going to go into it. Okay. Because some people were mad about it, but you have to remember, we're trying to entertain everybody. And people crave drama. They love it. What's that old thing that Eric Bischoff said? Controversy creates cash.
Controversy creates cash, yeah.
Right. People love their drama.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do was give people drama, some real life, storyline, but it's, it's the drama that you crave, that you need, that you want.
Right.
So we came up with this scenario where basically me and him would be on the outs, which is the thing that we filmed.
Right.
Some people, they were all in on it. Some people were not all in on it. Some people were mad. Some people were, excited. Some people are like, if this is a work, this is awesome. Thank you. The plan was, and plans are always changing in wrestling, unfortunately.
Hard subject to change for sure.
Right. So the plan was Jason was going to leave us, which he did, go wrestle for the guys at TWF.
Yes, he did a match there. Yep.
Yeah, he did 1 or 2 matches. Yeah. He was supposed to stay there for like a couple months, build a reputation, and then they were supposed to come invade ROW as a whole.
Oh.
And then it was going to lead to like a Survivor Series style matchup.
Kind of, you guys had that with, remember when you guys did stuff with AWL, kind of in that vein almost, like the AWL.
Something like that, but it was going to be like for control of ROW. It was supposed to have a couple of the TWF guys, Jason, I think Johnny Velocity, because, I was screwing him over. Yes. I changed his name too.
Yeah. I'm aware.
And then good old James Taylor. So,
he was a topic on Saturday's show. Yeah, I heard about that. I was here.
So I'm pulling back the curtain for everybody. This is what it's supposed to be. That team was supposed to win. James was going to get control of the company back. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. So we had to switch things up. We did the final say thing and all that. And we got Jason back and however we could. And that's how it went.
Well, I mean, I would have liked to have seen James Taylor out in ROW, but it was what it was. Sure. A lot of people would have liked to have seen that. But listen, things are what they are. But Jason's back in ROW. He had to fight to get his job, and he did that by defeating Matthew Forsaken. I mean, that certainly is a very, very tough customer. But he's back, and he's doing things in a different way. I mean,
Yep. I wish that could have happened because I think that would have been huge, honestly. Like, obviously, once everybody came back and we did the invasion thing, everybody would have been like, okay, this is definitely a work now. And that's fine. But leading up to that, we wanted to build the drama, build the tension. But unfortunately, the TWF guys, their plans fell through and they couldn't tape as much as we needed them to. So
you wish that it would have seen it where the people could have seen ROW versus TWF, and that would have explained things, and you think it would have been a better maybe connection to what you guys were trying to do. And unfortunately, not because of anything you could have done, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, definitely. Because if people would have saw, Jason come back and then he's got his new crew with him, and then also, Johnny Velocity's joining his team, and look, it's also James Taylor. It's like, oh, everybody's here now. This is great.
Right.
Unfortunately, that didn't work out that way. And then there's people that we had to keep out of the loop, and it's no offense to anybody, but the more people that know, the more of a chance that it's going to get out that, we're trying to do something here.
No, absolutely. Listen, one of the things that I always try to do, especially now here on Sportswire, if you look at the last, I would say, I don't know, let's go with the last year compared to, in the past, I really refrain a lot from, because, there's a reason, because I get a lot of different people on, and I also want to protect not only here, but you and all the other companies that come on, because I feel that way, we'll talk about it, we'll let it happen, whatever happens, you guys can figure it out. And I think for the fans, the people that tune in, they can go sit back and enjoy it and not, have to worry about certain things that go out there. But it's disappointing it didn't work out. But like I said, Jason's back. I think Anniversary was a great show. I think what we've seen from Johnny, his strides, Kyle, his strides, certainly, Matthew's Matthew. I mean, Cash Carter's on top. So there's some other good things. Listen, sometimes, one door closes and the door opens. Let's get to some more comments. I know people want to talk to you. They have
let me say one more thing about Jason real quick.
Sure, you got it.
And hats off to him, because that episode that he came on here and told his side of the story, he had me sold. I almost hated myself at the end of what he was saying. He did a really good job.
Well, you know what? Look, there were people that certainly had, I'm sure, their opinions. My perspective was, well, we spoke about this off the air afterwards. I'm like, look, I let him speak. I like Jason. I said it then. I, was hoping that, for the fans and everybody here, that it would all work out to the best of, what people wanted. And, eventually cooler heads prevailed. I mean, in hindsight, if you think about it, it's almost kind of similar to, if you remember when Stone Cold had, walked out on Raw, but eventually came back. He came back, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 months later and finished off his in-ring career. And it's kind of maybe that for us in the underground. So it was what it was, but Jason came back and everything's good, which I think Jason had talked a lot about ROEW and other things. So, we're happy about that. We're happy. Everyone's happy. Let's get to some more comments. You have a lot of them. Also, Soldier GP, a man that you have a lot of history with, and certainly was trying to go back and get at the time those, the ashes of his dad, and he and Jason went back and forth, but he did come in, and where you did talk about the All Wrestling Matters Championship, him and Kyle Kaplan had wrestled, and he is giving the eyes, so that's that, and we'll say more comments. We'll get to that. Yes, hello to Jason, hello to Soldier. And speaking of a person that you've had some, other, epic matches, and a man that recently came into ROEW once again and defeated Jason Storm, that is the Prince of Professional Wrestling, Felix Jones. I'm sure a man that you may have a few things you'd like to say about.
Well, as far as him and Soldier, hopefully you guys keep watching, because I'm going to do some thank yous later, and maybe your names get brought up. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
No promises, but keep watching no matter what.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Well, yes. And Soldier says hello to Camo Cam. Yes, thank you. And speaking of people, I guess I don't know. I didn't know you and Ox McCoy were upset at each other. But he did say hello to everyone except you. I'm not sure if I'm missing something, but okay. Well, we'll go to a different comment. And hello to Felix. I want to say hello to the Don of Combat, AJ Harrison. Hey, Tom. Hey, CJ. How you doing? Thank you very much for tuning in. And Zilla and Felix have quite a history, and we'll leave that at that. Thank you, AJ. And CJ Black is only 21 years young and already so talented. So, I mean, obviously, this goes back to the point some would say that maybe you can continue your career. Maybe in a different facet, find a way, maybe, get, I don't know, whatever therapy you can, you're back. And
I wish I was 21.
Well, I mean, listen, who knows? I mean,
if I look 21, thanks, but definitely not.
We had
21.
the Tribal Cheese on yesterday. We were talking about he's like the new Benjamin Button. Like, I had him on here first about 3 years ago, and he looks younger than he was 3 years ago. So you never know. But hello.
I'll put it to you this way, and you guys can do the math. I went to a Monday Night Nitro in 1997, so
okay,
I'm not 21.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe was Raven on that Nitro? I'm sure
He might have been. I don't remember.
You would probably remember it better than Raven would, because I think at this point Raven doesn't really want to talk much about wrestling. But he has a documentary. Check it out; it's worthwhile. Let me get to Jason, though. My greatest rival inside of wrestling, the man that taught me everything I know and then some. Thank you, CJ, for everything, for ROEW, and making Jason Storm what he is. Props to you, my friend. There you go.
Oh, that filled the ego so nice. Thank you. He knows what I like.
Okay, well, I mean, you've certainly had quite a history with him when it comes to, also his dad, and you guys have been in groups together. You didn't want to wrestle him at one point, so you've had, quite a history with him. It's, you look at the last few years. I think for our generation in the underground, you and Jason are in some ways kind of a yin and yang. You guys are just, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what side of the coin you are, you guys are almost like Mahomes and Allen sometimes in football. You guys are just always right there. For a while it was in the NBA, LeBron and Steph, the Warriors and the Cavs, or the Warriors and the Heat, and you and Jason were kind of that rivalry here these past few years.
Yeah, I'll be Mahomes, I guess. That way, at least I accomplished something. But yeah,
well, I mean, maybe that's a fair point. But I think you and Jason have done a lot. Maybe the better comparison is LeBron and Steph, because they won a couple against each other, but the better one. And thank you, CJ. Yes, thank you. We're going to thank CJ in a little while. And thank you, CJ, and wishing you a speedy recovery. Speaking of people that actually also wrestled in ROEW and is like you right now, I guess not wrestling actively, and that is the hall monitor of Sportswire Radio, Mr. Justin Parsley, who does want to give you some praise. And obviously Justin is a man that wrestled in ROEW and had a few matches, and famously had one with Jack Delta, and he was a world champion. He's giving you his praise, and we don't know what he looks like these days, because we know I have no idea at the moment, but he did want to come in and say hello.
Let me give him a public apology real quick. I'm sorry I made you run the ropes. Okay. Oh. Now everybody heard it. I'm sorry.
Oh, him? Well, I'm sure that would be music to the ears of the hall monitor, I guess.
He came from a place where I wasn't so sure of, and I was like, let's just double check. And he's good. Yeah. He passed with flying colors.
Well, I think he did all right. And let me get to Johnny. Much respect to that. You have a family that you need to think about physically being there for them. No, I think that is a commendable point, because when people will hear what Jim Brunzell had to say, and he was on the road and didn't get a chance to really see his family grow up and went through other things. So yes, there are bigger things than being in wrestling, and I think that you are looking at that. So I think that is a very commendable point. And thank you. So Felix does say thank you, CJ. Very nice of Felix, and I'm sure he won't be too giving next week when he's wrestling Anthony Steele. But hey, nevertheless, speaking of people that say that they're ducking you, the current All Wrestling Matters champion and the IMF Hardcore champion, the Heartstopper Gabe Sayers. I didn't know that was a thing, that you were ducking Gabe, but that's
he's
what
right.
Gabe is.
He's right.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I didn't have that. And psych. And Felix wants to say he was kidding on the thank you. So we'll get to some more comments. You have a ton of them, so you got them, and we'll just run through them. My mom has a back problem too from roller derby. Yeah, that's back injuries are a painful thing. The price we pay to do what we love. Yeah, there's no question in wrestling. What wrestlers do, I have all the respect in the world for wrestlers. And are you going to be a part of this still, like ROEW? You kind of answered it, but that's Johnny's question to you.
Yeah, I don't know how else I can answer that. I pretty much did, right? I don't know.
Yeah, you did. You said you would like to be involved. You want to be a referee, and you'd like to certainly still help the product continue to grow. So, I mean, and I think that Jason and Johnny talked about the future of ROEW anyway. So I think that there's no question that you'll certainly have a pulse on things. And you know what? If you're happy, that's the main thing. If you're happy, that's what it's all about. So let me get to some more comments, because you have a ton of them. Where are we going? Where are we here? Yes, hello, Gabe Sayers. Johnny wants to say that you're basically my coach.
Well, you're a great student. There you go.
There you go, student of the game.
There's your rub.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you. Good to see Gabe. And yes, hello there to Gabe. Yes, Gabe is involved in several companies, and TF Crew has a show next month. NEW has some great products out there that you should check out. They just had one of their most recent episodes last weekend, so check that out. And also check out all the great things that Gabe is doing with Pure Vanguard Wrestling and, of course, GTS. So I hope I got them all right. And Winter Clash will be in action there next weekend. Referees are very important, very underappreciated role. There you go. Also, Sean Jovi wants to nominate you as the good ref. There you go. I mean, listen, there you go.
Keep an eye on my Instagram. I might have a new handle.
Okay, well, you know what? That we'll keep an eye on. Yes, hello to Justin Parsley. Yes, he is here. This is my pride. This is all my work paying off. I will forever watch this match. You called it. There you go. How are you? This is from Aaron Blaze. I want to take a second to thank you personally for helping me improve. Welcome me into your show and the talks we have had. I truly appreciate you and wish you the best, no matter what, man. Very nice words. Very nice.
If I may, real quick.
Sure.
Sometimes Aaron Blaze, he gets a bad rep here in the community. I've heard from different people their takes on him. I've heard people talk highly about him.
Yeah.
Me personally, when he was here, nothing but good experiences. Respectful, wanted to learn, was paying attention. I had no complaints. Like, yeah, I wanted.
You know what? I'm in your camp on this because I've seen it firsthand here on Sportswire. I've known him about 2.5 years, and we just had him on Sunday. I mean, I get along with his guys. They come on here from YBW, Dominic, Magnum Carter. I mean, I speak to these guys almost on a daily basis. I mean, I've had a great relationship with his company, YBW. The guys come on here every month. I mean, so, I know things are out there, and I'm not going to, get into that, but I've always gotten along great, and I consider him a friend. So I'm with you on that. So
yeah, he was willing to take criticism while he was here. And I remember it was a match with him and Jacob Collins. He was showing me this counter.
The prestige tournament. That was the prestige tournament.
Yeah. He was doing this counter and he was doing it a different way than I would have liked. And I told him, like, switch it up. He's like, well, how do I do that? And I showed him real quick. And then he did it in this match so effortlessly. I turned it into a short because it looked so good. I'm like, I got to share this. Like, he made it look so smooth. He's always willing to learn and change things up. It's a good
yeah, I get the DBW guys on, Chase Wakefield, Brandon Costelli. I've had those guys, a lot of those guys on, and they all said, I had Van Hansen who just came back in DBW, and they got along great with him. So I can only go on what I know as well, and I've always gotten along great with Aaron Blaze. So I'm with you, and I would love to see him anywhere he'd like to wrestle. So thank you for that, and I already forgave you, Gabe Sayers Revolution, because I don't want to hold a grudge. And never stop learning. There you go. The more knowledge is power. There you go. And also, Aaron would like to say, I will definitely be back in ROW maybe sometime next year. Maybe not to have our match or Johnny's last. However, I wouldn't have a problem at least being one of them. There you go. You throw somebody there and putting their hat in the ring. Well-deserved headline. And speaking of people that did want to say hello, a man that obviously was a big part of ROW storylines, the Nemesis James Taylor, the Tyrant King, who's now wrestling in Mississippi. He'll be in action this coming weekend. And also, it's a great question because you and I were talking about this off the air. You have a music career. You've actually done a lot with music. You've been putting together a lot of songs, certainly for ROW. And I mean, so talk about your music career.
I'll address a little bit of it now. I think I have like a long list of thank yous, and Soldier's going to be one of them. And I think I mentioned it in there too about the music. But yeah, I enjoy writing music. I didn't know how much I did until I started using the program that Soldier originally showed me. And then I found a new one too. And I was like, this is great. I made a few songs that sound really good. And I would like for, a legit band to play it. So, we can get on the radio at some point. That'd be sweet. But yeah, during the off season, I'm going to try writing more songs and upload. I already got a couple I need to upload that are probably my best, in my opinion. Can't wait to share them though. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I had shared a few of the tracks with the manager of the band King's X, and he was kind of at a bad time because they were on tour, but I have another connection that I'm going to try to help you with because this guy, he's been giving me a lot of things, and he likes the platform. So I think we'll try our best with that. But I think the music, let me ask you on that. Was that something you always wanted to do? Because, we've known you for a while, but the last, 3 or 4 months or so, the music's kind of been more in the forefront. Was that something you always wanted to do to go along with your wrestling career?
Growing up, I would always try to be creative and write certain things. And one of my songs, actually, I took some lines from an old song I wrote when I was 15 or something like that. But I never really got into it as much as I am now. When I started doing it recently, it was all just to make a song for our wrestling. So we didn't get flagged for copyright.
Yeah.
And then once I heard the song, I'm like, that's not actually that bad. What if I actually put some effort into this? And then I started writing like legit songs, and I was like, all right, this is I
Yeah,
like
they're really good. You sent me some things, and they were like legit. I took a chance to I took to listen to it because I do, have a little bit of ear for it, and they were really good. I mean, they were like legitimately like really good stuff. I mean, they're definitely stuff that I could hear on Sirius XM's Octane. I could see it on college radio station. So you got some potential there. I mean, legitimately speaking, you have some potential there with music. And listen, the music you can go on forever. And famous, we know in wrestling, Jimmy Hart. I mean, I think might be known more for some of his wrestling work in the studio than what he did obviously as a manager. I mean, so you might be the next Jimmy Hart, the next Jim Johnson. You'll hopefully be better than Def Rebel. Everybody complains about Def Rebel when they do this stuff for WWE. So you never know. I mean, you never know that could be. But let me get to James Taylor because he has a comment. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm going to go out on a limb here, but in my opinion, CJ Black is the greatest technical wrestler in the backyard of the underground wrestling scene, period. I mean that. James Taylor's saying that. And, James had some things to say, and Jay said some things to say, but James is going, and when he says things, I mean, he says it. So there you go.
Well, thank you, sir. Going back to the music real quick, sorry.
Sure.
So, obviously, unfortunately, right now it is AI music, but I hope to, get some real people to sing my songs. That's my goal.
Yeah. No. Listen, I mean, people use
Yeah.
Pro Tools, which is kind of an early form of AI, so that, for those that are musicians, Pro Tools was the thing. And people were like, I remember when Pro Tools came out about 20, 22 years ago, and people were like, Pro Tools. Now people, they don't even blink. I get bands that come on and that record music from their cell phones. So, you'll be surprised at what people use to, get their music out there. So it won't be as big a deal as you think in a few years.
But if anybody does want to listen to it, it is live on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube Music, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you get your music at. I got, I think, 11 songs uploaded right now. So if I can start getting some, some traffic to them, maybe they can take off a little bit. The right ears hear them, and it helps me out.
Well, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And hello to Camo Cam again. Thank you. And James Taylor, the Nemesis. Yes, that is his name. By God, James Taylor. Yes, that is his name.
Oh, boy.
Howdy, gentlemen. Damn, hell froze over. I agree with James Taylor. Yeah, Soldier GP and James Taylor, late the last year and a half, haven't agreed on much, but they agreed on that. So you know what? Who would have guessed? Maybe we have a better chance with James Taylor and Soldier GP having peace than Zelensky and Putin, but we'll leave that at that. Hello to Mr. Taylor and Soldier. What's up, Johnny? Yes, how we doing today? My first comment was supposed to say especially CJ Black. There you go. All right, that makes life a lot better. Cron and exclamation points. It's Johnny. But Blaze, if you make it out here before I'm done, we can go. That would be fun. Absolutely. Hello to Camo Cam's dad. Thank you. Yes, hello. Camo Cam can't wait for Winter Clash. We'll be talking about that on Monday. No concertos. I see. No concertos. Very clever way to spell. Hit the sub button for RLBW, please, on YouTube. I have the Instagram link. We'll put the T Public link up also here in a few minutes, so go support them. And it would have been a hell of a storyline between the RLBW and TWF guys. And, we'll never know. We'll never know. It's crazy. I mean, look, you never know. Look, maybe it wouldn't have worked out the way you would have liked. You can always look at it from that vantage point. I mean, some people look at it that way. You can always say it that way and hit the Instagram follow button for ROBW. And Jason Storm is one of the greatest. I've said it, whether you agree in character or not. Jason Storm, I said this, his last appearance in on Saturday show, he's a 5-time world champion. The underground, what he's done is that he's done this in different places. He's gone and traveled. He's gone out and wrestled different people. I mean, you can say what you want about Jason Storm in character, and he's certainly in character has had issues on Sportswire with Natural Selection and when James Taylor was with them. But what this man has done as a traveling champion and representing ROBW and the other places he's wrestled for, he is one of the greatest underground champions of our generation.
Everybody, not only just in the backyard, but especially RWW, has their weaknesses and their strengths. And Jason is definitely one of the best at doing character work and promos, and like literally he could, talk circles around me just like I wrestled circles around him back in the summer, good times. But
Well, Jason talked about how he did have to, learn some of that, and that helped him too. I mean, Jason also talked about learning some of the technical stuff that, I think is going to help him go forward. So that's another point, point taken.
yeah, the very first match we had, he was able to pick up everything that I showed him. And that's why I would have been happy with that being my last match, but thankfully it wasn't, because then we had so many more, opportunities and moments that we made, and it all worked out great.
Hey, that's all you can do. And I do want to put up the TeePublic page for ROW, because I have a bunch of ROW shirts still. And I hope that you would join me, and especially with the holidays, to buy a shirt or two that supports the guys and helps them in all the things they're trying to do out there. So let's please support the wrestling companies that have been here on Sportswire and have put so much effort out there. Even if you buy one shirt, whether it's any type of shirt in ROW, go out there and buy it. It's on the TeePublic page, and we will certainly keep putting up more links throughout the show. Let me get to some more comments, because you want to hear from the people, and they're sick and tired of hearing me. I'm only kidding. That one guy spit in Soldier's face, and Soldier never got revenge. Yeah, that one. Yeah, well, or it's about the IMF show, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was not too good either.
It wasn't me. I've always been nice to Soldier. I don't know.
Well, speaking of people that were here a couple weeks ago, and that is the OGS, Yoshi Matsuda, wanted to say one of the best to ever do it. Thank you, Yoshi, and please support our friends over at Wrestling Zero. And the guys are working on a film in their own right, doing some great things, and there you go. And no, especially CJ Autocorrect. Ox is definitely having fun here. All BS aside, Felix Jones is going to be a superstar. You are, though, a 7-star superstar. Just want to point that out for the audience.
I'll piggyback off of that in my thank you. Don't you worry.
Okay. Yeah, you got your comments are going, so not yet.
Yeah.
We're not going to go there yet. And Johnny, I got to agree. Thank you, Soldier. CJ and Jason are the Kevin and Sammy. The other round. You feel the same way? Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn? That's a good reference.
There you go. I'll take that.
Okay. And that's the goal, man. Hopefully we can get a match before your last one. Yes, we spoke about Felix and Johnny on Friday's show, and Felix would like to be one of those last opponents. And
that'd
Felix
be a good one too.
Felix, I listen. Felix, I talk about all the time on here. His work, and he'll be joining the ranks of Ace Christian very soon. A man that he cost a match many months ago for. You have a few young stars on the IMF roster. I think we could see on TV. I certainly agree. Felix will be in AEW in 6 years' time. Might be sooner than that. I might be sooner. I mean, could be much sooner than I interviewed a guy years ago that wrestled on an AEW dark taping. Ishmael Vaughn. You never know. You just never know out there. Also, thanks everyone, but Zilla for the kind words. I appreciate it. Interesting show here tonight. Follow ROW on YouTube once again, and also sounds like me and Blaze really need to have a one-on-one, maybe Prestige rules. He's the Prestige champion. He's the incumbent. And
yeah, I'm seeing a couple matches I'd like to see next year. That's for sure. And I could be referee for them too. Ooh, make it happen.
That's a good idea. Like I once said. Obviously, somebody here knows some things. I once said I didn't want a job to Felix, but now I like to do a job. Now, I don't know what the word job means, but I really hope that people have a job, especially with holiday shopping, holiday spending. I know not everyone has, my wallets. I would really hope that everybody has a job, and I would certainly support everybody in having an opportunity like that.
I think it's some sort of inside baseball term, and I don't play baseball, so I don't know.
You know what? I haven't played baseball since I don't know. I want to say maybe I was a freshman in college, so that's about a dozen plus years ago, maybe longer. Yeah, you got to get your songs out there. Yes, absolutely. Speaking of people that know about songs, I know we've spoken briefly, but bless you, brother. You're a legend, musician to musician. I'm glad you're enjoying the process going into it. The best part of creating, maybe you could collaborate with someone like a Yoshi Matsuda. Yoshi's done some stuff in music. I don't know if that's something you guys ever talked about, but I mean, maybe that would be one way. He's got a song out there that has almost 6 figures in views. I mean,
yeah, we'll have to talk then. I need that. Help me.
All right, well, he's here. I mean, he's here. And song-wise, your turn. I'm waiting.
Oh, okay. I get you. Okay.
I won't knock the grind, CJ. No, definitely not. Hit the follow. Yep, go buy a shirt for RBW. Speaking of people that were also here, that is the longest reigning YBW champion, Dominic. Obviously, Aaron Blaze and Dominic, they're having a match, and he would like to be. He was here a couple weeks ago, and thank you, Dominic. Dominic is a good friend, and we appreciate Dominic. Although Dominic was not in much of a good mood, he wasn't here on Sunday show because Aaron Blaze was certainly firing on all instincts as he does. And yes, hello there, and all right, so I want to give you something. I know you want to have some other things you want to get off your chest, but I think it's time for me to present you something on the screen. I think we've talked enough with the chat. I'll give them some time. They need a breather. We ran through 30 minutes of comments, so you got what you wanted. So we'll give you that. And I am going to now put this on my screen. I know you've had a couple of these before, but I want to do it because you're now in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame once again for being the 7-star superstar.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, 7. So that's Johnny got one, Jason got one, so you have to get one. So that's kind of the way it works. Keep everybody happy. So you're in the Hall of Fame once again. You got a few of these, but congratulations, and hopefully you'll appreciate as much as Jim Brunzell did. I won't spoil it, but I will really not spoil it. But yeah, that was for you, and it's. To me, I mean, I'm kind of taken back that this is going to be the end, but I think it is something in underground wrestling. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Judgment, who Aaron Blaze knows very well, and he's wrestling his last match this coming weekend. Even Mr. Judgment's been at it a long time. Obviously, the DBW world champion for many, many years, and he's wrestled in the Indies, and VTW there it is, alter ego Asher Christ, and his career is over, and your career, your last match was a couple weeks ago, and Johnny's talked a lot about at length his career coming to an end. James Taylor said his underground in-ring career is over. It seems. I mean, there's Dalton Skull in BYCW who says he's going to be done at the end of this month. And, Austin Edwards, one of his guys. So a lot of guys are, struggling with this decision and have come to terms with it. So, I mean, I think if it's best for you, we support it.
Yeah, unfortunately, everybody needs to have their last match at some point. And I chose mine. I chose my point.
Okay. I mean, that's understandable. Very understandable. I mean, so... what would you say then would be next, for ROEW? What do you think will be the future? Obviously, Cash Carter's the champion. I mean, what is your thoughts now on Cash Carter carrying your torch?
I'm looking forward. I mean, you saw those 2 possible matches there that we could see next year.
Yes.
I got to imagine maybe we could see them also against Cash Carter. That could be fun.
Yeah. You know what? I think right now, obviously Johnny talked about maybe he versus Jason, to decide who would face off with Cash. But then, Johnny is the Prestige champion, and Johnny also felt in some ways he should get the next shot at Cash Carter. I mean, that's a really interesting dynamic, and Jason has to get his way back up to the top. And he said, listen, I know I'm not going to get a title shot right away. So it's a really intriguing dynamic. And Cash's work, I mean, you want to talk about guys, pound for pound in the underground the last few years that have been at the forefront, have been the very best. It's your brother. Unfortunately, it's your last match, but your brother's been, one of the very, or if not the very best. I mean, and he proves it every time he goes out there.
If someone's going to put me down, who better than my family, I
mean, it happens. I mean,
what's that story? Cain and Abel. It's a shame.
Well, there's always, there's Matt and Jeff, Brett and Owen. I mean, we see this all the time. Brothers go out there and compete, and and it's one of those things. But I mean, you could look at it and say, Anniversary 3, biggest show in ROEW history. Control of ROEW on the line. I mean, everything. You couldn't have asked for a better scenario and a better match. I mean, you had him. You had him so many times here in this match. You had him, and unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be.
Yep, kicked out of my lights out twice. That's a tough guy.
Well, I mean, that's who he is. I mean, this is a guy that's won multiple championships and a guy that has been, like I said, the pound for pound very best. I mean, one of the very best out there, and he proves it each time he goes out there. His matches with with Johnny and your matches with him and his work with Jacob. He and Jacob have certainly had some great stuff. Him and Forsaken. I mean, who can forget Cash Carter and Matthew Forsaken famously? I mean, there's the first ever buried alive match in RWW history. I mean, there's been some great work. That cat, Aaron Blaze was here in the chat. We know his match last year with them. So, I mean, Cash has just had, some great work. He's had some great matches and I mean, I think he is the ROW champion. He's going to be very tough to knock off next year. I don't care who it is, whether it's Forsaken, whether it's Johnny Velocity, whether it's Jason Storm, whether it's Kyle Keplin, whether it's Jacob Collins or, anybody else that would come into the ROW arena. I mean, Cash Carter is going to be very difficult to knock off.
I think he made a post too. Cash Carter made a post saying that if anybody wants to challenge him next year, 2026, come make it happen.
I think there's a lot of people out there that would, I'm sure, want to answer that when the time comes. But obviously, we'll certainly see. And, we're excited about the future of ROW. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, do me a favor, hit the sub button for ROW on YouTube. Follow them on Instagram. Check them out on TikTok. They do a great job on TikTok. You can also buy some merchandise, the T Public store, and please support ROW and all the companies. And I say this all the time here. To me, I can't thank enough ROW and IMF for always being with us here. And, so many talents have come on from Sportswire, from ROW and IMF. And we are very happy to have ROW with us throughout the week. And the IMF guys are going to get the baton on Monday. So we're excited about that. And please support all the wrestlers and all the companies. And we're here with the good guy, CJ Black. And, I want to put the end of the match up, and then we'll transition into probably where you like to thank you and shout out everybody. But, talk to me about, toward the end of the match and just, what's going through your mind here as well. We're about to get toward the end.
What was going through my mind at this point is I was super tired.
That's a good answer. I'll give you that.
Yeah, if somebody kicks out of your finishing move twice, you're in for a long day. Whew.
It was a long match. You guys put out, there's a lot. Even Johnny talked about when he was first going out there in ROW that it's a lot. I mean, so to do this, I'm sure you felt the same way.
Yeah, I really wanted to, like, pulling back the curtain here a little bit. I really wanted this match to have a lot of back and forth counters because, we're brothers. We know each other so well. Been wrestling each other, since 2007 and even a little before that, before we even ROW.
Right.
So I really wanted that to reflect in this match, and I think it did. Especially like even something like this right here, that reverses sliced bread. He immediately goes for the cash advance. And then, I got to boot him. I got to cut him off. Let me go for another vertical suplex, but he knows what's coming now. Knees me, and then transitions into his finisher. And unfortunately, catches me with it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it was quite a battle, but you put up a fight there. You put up a fight. I mean, you were moving your leg. You just couldn't get that arm up. You got the leg up, but you couldn't get the arm up.
I ran out of energy.
Hey, listen.
Too much pain.
Yeah. I mean,
it was a long one.
Yeah. No, you totally, listen, it was what it was, and you put up a hell of a fight, but that's the future, and that is Cash Carter, and he is the ROW champion for a reason, and he's the guy right now that's going to carry the torch into the future for ROW, and especially 2026, and we're about to see something. If you would have said at the beginning of the show that I don't know if anybody else would have believed, but you do embrace him here coming up shortly. I mean, I guess this reality sets in.
So more behind the curtain stuff here for you. Before the match, we kind of talked about what we were doing at the end here, and our family. Okay, with the men in the family, we're not very like loving. We don't show our love like in that way, I guess. Like it's inferred, but we don't say it. We don't really show it. So he's like, "Wait, we're gonna hug? We don't do this." So then you
Well,
can see here when he hugs me, look how excited he is. He's like, "Oh my God, finally."
well, some families are like that. Listen, I mean, growing up in Brooklyn, I don't remember if I ever hugged a family member outside of maybe my dad. I don't remember. I mean, some people, it's just, that's the way it goes. What can I say? But I mean, you did embrace, and Cash is the man, and we'll take this off the screen. Please hit the sub button for our. I'll get to some comments because I see Cash is here. Cash, I did want to say hello to
Oh,
Cash.
boy.
And Felix versus Cash. This could be a great match. You know what? I think a lot of people would like to see it. He's the PWF champion. I mean, he's the RWW champion. We've seen this before. PWF champion versus RWW champion. And Felix versus Johnny and Felix versus Cash 2026. There is Felix coming in. And also, Zilla has some names for final opponents for you, Johnny Velocity. Me and the headline, Aaron Blaze. Is Zilla putting her hat in the ring against Johnny Velocity? I think a lot of people would like to see that. I didn't know Zilla was trained. I didn't know. Are you training Zilla? Is this the announcement that you're training Zilla? Is that what it is tonight?
Not that I know of, but you got to watch out for that quick strike kick, though.
I tell you what, you never know. And yes, the good rep. That was Sean Jovi's line. And also, maybe Smokey is available. Maybe you want to show Smokey how to referee. I mean, Smokey certainly, Soldier and some have not been happy with his referee counting. Maybe you're going to show him and take his place in now Cedar Rapids.
Hey, when I was there the first time, Smokey was awesome. So,
well, we'll say this. This is where we thank you, CJ. We're going to do that in a minute. Thank you for segueing. It was an amazing match, and we're going to do that here. And Cash has a big target on his back. I could not agree with you more. And eyeballs for Johnny and Cash. And Cash, is that your way of accepting Felix's challenge? Stay tuned. And there you have it. The crush, her crush is here, Cash Carter. And I think I'm going to go with Johnny here. So I know we're getting toward the end of the show and such, and you really wanted to thank people, and I'm going to give you that opportunity since you'd like to give some thank yous and shout outs, and Johnny basically segued into it.
All right, so I got a list here that I wrote down so I don't forget things, but before I get started on it,
sure.
If I don't list off your name, don't get discouraged. It doesn't mean I don't like you or nothing like that.
Gotcha.
Just I got certain people I wanted to really shout out, and that's why they're on this list. So first, Tom, it's for you.
Thank you very much.
I know there's a page on Instagram that's called Backyard Wrestling Hub, but in reality, that title belongs to you. You brought the community together. The community is what it is because of you. You give everyone an equal opportunity to come on here and try to gain some exposure. You probably watch more backyard wrestling than anyone else, including myself. I don't know.
I did say yesterday with the Tribal Chiefs, we were talking about WWE, and I said I really don't watch a lot of WWE anymore because I'm watching backyard and underground wrestling. So to answer your question, I do watch a lot of backyard wrestling, and for good reason. ROVW and underground IMF. And if Gabe's still here, TF Crew. So I mean, and Wrestling Zero and YBW, and and everybody else, DBW, and I'm sure there's some others. BTW. I have to throw them in there. A lot of companies. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, a ton more that I've never even heard of.
EWA, I got to mention the EWA. They're here Saturday.
Yeah.
We got to mention that Johnny's their eternal champion. So yeah, there's a lot of wrestling I'm watching in Backyard Underground. Yep.
Too much.
I'm not going to say that, but you can say that.
You make all of us feel more important than we probably are, which maybe not me though. Like
listen, we want to. You are very important. A lot of people were eagerly anticipating you coming on here, so you are important.
And we all appreciate what you do. I hope to see you keep expanding and branching out, and hopefully we can get you The Rock someday.
We're inching. Well, I mean, we're inching closer. We had Raven. I mean, we have Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. I mean, I had Saliva, Josie Scott, who did Chris Jericho's song. So
we started with Rhino, and I was nervous getting him for you. I was scared.
Listen, let me tell you. Rhino. We'll break the curtain. I'll break the curtain for a minute before you. Thank you. Rhino was an interesting guy. He was a nice guy, but he was very this is the time. Reminded me of my dad. This is the time. This is what we do, and that's it. Okay, which was fine. I had Savio Vega, Savio Vega was like really nice. I did it during like a snowstorm, and he was like, talked to me. He was complimentary because the person that got him on was actually wrestling him, Stud Bronson. He wrestles in Arizona. So he had a big show. Savio Vega was awesome. Gary Wolf. Gary was nice. Gary was okay. Gary gave me an hour. Gary was cool. Gary was a little like an ECW wrestler. Raven's Raven. I mean, watch the documentary. What you saw from Raven is what you saw in Sportswire. Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, I have to say, what you're going to see that tomorrow, was the nicest guy, one of the nicest people I've ever interviewed. No, I've interviewed, a lot of people, big names. I worked in the state Senate. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of things. And Jumpin' Jim Brunzell was really, he was a really nice guy. So, I mean, so that's I broke the curtain for you a little bit there.
One thing about Raven too, for anybody else that's a Raven fan, I know you had like 20 minutes with him or something like that.
20 and a half. Yeah.
If you like listening to Raven talk, and this is something I did back when I was like really into learning wrestling and the ins and outs of it. If you go on YouTube, there's I think it was ROH Secrets of the Ring. Jim Cornette had one, and so did Raven. I listened to Raven's, I think there's like 5 parts that are an hour long each. Definitely worth listening to. Sure. He's a great mind, and obviously Tom knows that. That's why you got him on your show. So
I was always a fan of his in WCW, ECW. He was Johnny Polo, and I mean, in the documentary, it was lucky. I actually, the way I got him was really a fluke. I was actually doing a voiceover audition, and I see my phone, and somebody says, "Hey, Raven wants to talk to you." And I was like, I'm going to lose this audition. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. And, we had him on, and unfortunately had really bad technical difficulties, but we're supposed to have gotten 30 minutes, but, we'll take 20 and I'll take 2 minutes with Raven, it's just right. How it goes.
You can say you were there. That's what matters.
Sure.
All right. Let me keep going here.
Go with the list. Go with the list.
All right. So we got, so thank you, Tom, first of all, sure. From everybody too, I'm sure. So we all appreciate you. Yeah. Jason.
Absolutely, Jason.
So I'm 99.9% sure if I didn't meet you, ROEW wouldn't be a thing again. I wouldn't have had my one last match that I originally wanted, and I wouldn't have gained all the respect that I craved back when I wrestled in my first run. You travel around representing ROEW more than anyone else, including myself. Sometimes I feel like you love those 4 letters more than I ever did. So for your passion, for your friendship, for your sacrifices, thank you. That's the nicest I've ever been to Jason, and it's never going to happen again.
What's with this episode? You're like really nice so far. What's the episode? I mean, I think we're all kind of waiting for the punchline here to quote an Extreme album, but go ahead.
At the end of this, if I say psych and I start wrestling next year, you'll know this is all just a big CJ Black work. But it's
know what? At this point, I would say whatever you want to do. That's how my approach is. It's okay.
All right. So we got Austin /ADT.
Yes. Good man. Yes, good man.
We used to have a small rivalry back in the day between our 2 shitty feds. I'll just say that no one cared about. Even back then, we really didn't talk. But thankfully, this relaunch also in a way made you miss wrestling and want to get back in the game, because that led to us talking and always reaching out for advice. You're always helping me with graphics and video stuff that I don't feel like doing. There's plenty of videos and shows that wouldn't look the same if it wasn't for you. And you know that. And also, you're an okay wrestler, so you're welcome there.
He's made a lot. You know what? He's gone out there and also done the work, too. He's in the venue. He's done the training. Yeah. ADT is all right by me.
He did a lot. His new, he calls it, I believe, the dojo.
Yes.
He showed us up, the ROW studios. He put it to shame. That's what he did.
Well, he put the work. He was friends with a lot of, did a lot of good things.
We need to see more uploads from you. That's what we need. Okay. Soldier GP.
Absolutely.
So I remember when someone from your channel commented on our video. This is when we first started too. So nobody knew us.
Sure.
I went and looked at your videos and I saw Soldier GP for the first time. And my initial thoughts were, this dude seems like a dick. Like the way he carried himself in the ring, I was like, I want nothing to do with the guy. Then I remembered this is wrestling, and Chris, maybe you don't suppose this guy's in character, Turns out he was, because we started talking and he proved to me that I really shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Soldier has been one of the nicest people I've ever met. Always been there for me, one of the biggest supporters of mine. And thanks to him, I was able to live out my childhood dream of wrestling in front of a crowd. The first time I went there was an amazing experience, only to be topped by the second trip. Which brings me to Felix.
Oh, you had a lot of great matches with Felix. Yep.
The match I had with you is one of my favorites and arguably my best. I give all the credit in the world to you being another self-trained guy for the way you picked up the things I showed you and executed them in front of the crowd. We had the place rocking and in the palm of our hands. It should be every wrestler's goal, especially the pros, to have the crowd out of their seats, screaming and counting along for the 1, 2, 3. And we did that. You have all the potential in the world, and I hope to see you on TV one day, and I think we will.
Agreed. I agree on that.
My advice to you is something I heard from some pro somewhere. You're going to get a lot of advice, what to do, what not to do. Be respectful and listen to it. You don't have to take it all, but just listen to it. All right. Got a few more here. I'm going to split these into two so I don't lump them in like they've always been. Kron or Johnny Velocity.
That was a good one. I think we all walked into that.
Yep. I remember the first time I met you at IMF, me and Colin agreed that's got to be the nicest guy ever. Like anybody that knows him in person.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, he is like,
yeah,
just, it's him and Sean Jovi, you know, they're like, they love everybody. I mean,
down the line, we were told you wanted to come wrestle with us. And I'm like, hell yeah, bring it. You're one of those guys that can take criticism, which we talked about, and advice and better yourself from it. And that's special. I also knew with the heart and passion that you have, when we would eventually have a match, it was going to be something I would always be able to look back at and be proud of, which it is. So thanks for reaching out and thanks for your friendship.
Absolutely.
Forsaken. Here's a guy that's down for whatever. You know, he was in our first casket match and our first buried alive match. Maybe something else down the line. I don't want to give things away.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Another one who I knew I'd be able to have a great match with, which I do. I very much enjoyed our match.
And I want to give Matthew a big shout out because apparently he likes my band interviews. He's apparently Mr. Forsaken. I'm told by Johnny, says he's like, wow, he loves all the bands I have on. So thank you, Mr. Forsaken.
He loves his Sportzwire. We all do.
Well,
let's see. This might be one of my only matches in the past 3 years. People know the way I do business, where I just stood in the ring with someone and put a match together right before we filmed it. So literally, like with the Johnny Velocity match, you know, we put like a week or two into training before we had the match. Me and Forsaken, just an hour before, we were like, all right, let's do this. And then we just filmed it. And that was nice. For anyone that ever thought he's just a hardcore guy, I hope we help showcase that you're wrong. Every match he has, I'm still seeing him utilize all the little things I've shown him that would make him look more professional. Thanks for always being a good sport, even when things didn't work out the way we wanted. This one, I don't hear a lot of people talk about him too much anymore, but everybody that knows him likes him. JX.
Yes.
You were one of the first guys that took a chance and traveled out to us. Another guy that's down for anything and just absolutely has a blast in the ring. You've done things for the love of the game that I never did, can't do, and won't do. We had match of the year in 2023, and for our first and only time working together, that's pretty damn awesome. Thank you for helping us to grow in all the ways you did.
He was a good dude, Jay. He was here a couple times.
I think he really wants to get back in the ring too. So maybe 2026 we'll see him again in RWW. That'd be great.
Would love to see him back out there. Absolutely.
Jack Delta.
I was waiting for you to say that. I thought you saved him for last, but I was waiting for that one.
You were the first person that commented on the match I had with Jason and reached out to join us. What started off as another Fed to boost your number, as I remember he was counting to 15 on his hands.
Yeah.
It ended up being one of the greatest things to happen to RWW and my run. You were a guy that's shared the vision that I had of trying to look professional in the ring to the best of our abilities. And that really showed when we had our 7-star classic. I believe it was the first 7-star rating Copper Dragon gave a backyard match.
Correct.
And for anyone that takes shots at RWW and the way we may do things at times, just know that what you saw in this match was all thanks to a week of training and preparation, making sure everything looked crisp, making sure we were working towards the camera, and making sure there was a good flow to the match. So if something, we really wanted to make special, and I think we did. Also, outside of wrestling, maybe he's an okay guy. I don't know. I'll say this, and it's kind of an inside joke, and it's going to sound a little weird, but just trust me, there's a reason.
Okay.
You haven't lived until you've seen Jack Delta smash a puffy taco. That's all I'm going to say, okay, about that.
Your lips to God's ears.
It sounds weird, I get it, but
I'm with you.
knows.
I'm with you. I'm going with it.
Jacob Collins.
I love Jacob.
Jacob's a good dude and a good friend that would always help you out. He's always been down to do anything for wrestling and help out wherever. It's just like, he stepped up and he was a referee when we needed one.
Yeah, another traveler, by the way. Jacob has quite a resume of places he's traveled to.
He's another guy that I feel loves REW even more than I do. And another guy that's been one of my biggest fans, and it means the world to me that someone thinks of me as highly as Jacob does. Jacob, thank you for putting up with my shit for the past 3 years, and I'm really thankful our paths crossed.
Well, I mean, that's
I pick on Jacob a lot. He gives it back.
The thing about Jacob Collins, definitely hell is frozen over, because on here, that's never happened before. So this is a first. Yes, you can take a water, take a break.
So there's a lot of people I could add to this. The list could continue for days. I'm going to lump a lot of you in here and get to one last one. Mm-hmm. For anyone that's wrestled for us, traveled to us, shared our stuff, talked about us, hyped us up, messaged me personally, supported REW, supported me, holds me in high regards, or even hates my guts, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right. Colin or Cash Carter. The man that retired me. I don't think anyone else was an option. Colin's been my best friend since he was born. He's going to hold this against me. I just shouldn't read this. I'm good. All right, here we go. Colin's been my best friend since he was born. We spent our whole youth wrestling, watching wrestling, dreaming of being pro wrestlers. The original run of REW was basically the two of us, which is something that Kron and Forsaken can relate to, which is why they wanted to have that match too.
Right.
The last video on the old REW channel is just a highlight video of what was supposed to be our last match, and that's something that's always bothered me. If we're going to leave behind a legacy and something for people to remember us by, I wanted it to be something that showed what we were all about. Whether or not people thought the match that we just had at Anniversary was our best work, or, mine, his, whatever, it's all subjective. Wrestling's an art form. I enjoyed it though. And the fans voted us as match of the year last year in 2024. And the retirement match was voted match of the year again in 2025.
A lot of votes were cast, by the way.
We did something special, I think.
Absolutely.
So I like to think that me and him, we bring out the best in each other, because there's always that little bit of sibling rivalry between us, trying to prove to the other that, maybe I have that edge over you. And apparently he got the best of me. So one last thing, like I said earlier, there goes my phone. In our family, we don't really say it a lot. But in true CJ Black fashion, I'm still not going to say it now, you son of a bitch. But it's inferred. It's inferred, though. So we're good.
I believe it. Now, listen, there's ways of doing it. But, unless you have any more thank yous, I actually have one more thing I'd like to put on my screen. Unless you have more thank yous. You have any
that
more
was the last one. You go ahead.
All right. So you know what? I know everybody thought we would be done, but I have something for you that I wanted to save for last, and I hope that you'll take this, because I am doing this for a second time tonight. You're in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, not only for being the 7-star superstar, but also for your match alongside Johnny Velocity. So we're putting you in 2 times tonight. We'll give you and Johnny that copy. So 2 for the price of 1. So we'll get you a little further closer to Justin Parsley's Hall of Fame totals here. So we're padding the totals here, but
Well,
we're
he's in
putting
there like
you.
84 times, so I don't know if I'll catch
Well,
up.
I think there might be some people that were be very upset with that at the moment, but nevertheless, he is in there, yes, many times, and he is the Hall of Fame monitor, and I'm sure he'll be out here. But no, we love Justin, and we love you and Johnny, and we wanted to do it, and I thought it was the right time. I wanted to do it when you were here because I knew Johnny was here. We gave him a couple of awards, but I wanted you to have this, and we'll give Johnny this copy, and we wanted you to have it. We appreciate all that you've done. And, ROBW, I say it all the time when you're not here, and even when the IMF guys are not here. My bread and butter, my flagship companies for the backyard and the underground are ROEW and IMF. So, I mean, to me, that's always been the constant. We appreciate ROEW and IMF so much. And, you are part of that. I know you don't come on as much, but again, you, Jason, and Johnny, when you guys come on, people listen. You got what you wanted in the turnout. And I think that's a hallmark and a testament to your character, what you've done in your career. But to me, your career is not over. You may say the in-ring career is not over, but you've got a lot more ahead. You got music, you got refereeing, you got other things, I'm sure, with ROEW. So really, I mean, your career is not over. It's just a different phase. It's really the next phase of your career.
True.
The career's not
Yep.
over. I mean, it's not
If the
over.
music takes off, I'll be a very happy man. I'll tell you that.
You never know. Listen, you just never know out there. But obviously, we want to certainly let everybody know a couple things before we get to closing thoughts. First of all, ROEW Instagram, hit the follow button. Merchandise, holidays, you want a gift for that special someone, maybe stock up on some more merchandise. ROEW's T Public. So you're going to see a bunch of discounts throughout the holiday season. I'll get to some more comments. People want to say hello to you before we sign off. Also, ROEW YouTube page. One more time, ROEW Underground. Please go out there, follow, subscribe. If you've subscribed, tell your friends, hit that sub button. That stuff really counts because the more subs means the more eyes are on the prize, and that helps all these companies. You don't have to worry about me. They need yes, but we'll get to some more comments. I know you got a few more comments out there. We'll get to.
If I can interrupt real quick.
Yes,
So
sure.
speaking of the holiday season,
Yes.
There's something that me and the guys in the ROW were talking about doing, and maybe it's something you can help us out with because I feel like you're really good at stuff like this.
Okay. Well, all right.
We want to try auctioning off something that is like special to ROW in some way, maybe something that's been used and signed by everybody.
Sure.
But it wouldn't be for us though. We would do something where like even if somebody wants to like donate $1 and then we do like a 50-50 drawing. I want to donate everything that we earn to like a children's hospital for Christmas.
Sure.
So if we can somehow make that happen, and if anyone's down and wants to, donate, like that'd be awesome. Because I'll
tell you what. We'll do with that. You give me a link or give me something over the next couple days. DM me on Instagram, and I'm going to be on pretty much every day, in some case multiple times. I'll put it up throughout the shows I'm on, and whether it's wrestling or not. I actually have a soccer player coming on Tuesday and other people, so I'll put it up throughout. You get me something, and I will donate, obviously, but we'll put the link up and we'll let other people donate to it. So find me something, and I'll work on it. I'm here tomorrow. Well, I'm pre-recorded 2 shows, but I'm here tomorrow with the TPW guys. So, I mean, we'll just give me a link, and we'll absolutely be happy to promote it. Whatever you want. I mean, that's a great idea.
We're all just backyard underground guys, but it's something that's special and nice enough where if somebody wants to donate to a children's hospital, it's like, why not? It's $1.
No, we're not just, but no. That's where I'm going to slow your roll. We're not just backyard and underground wrestlers or people involved. I think we're people. We're people in the community. And to me, I think that if anybody wants to help somebody, I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're the WWE wrestlers that come on here. I don't care if they're the heavy metal million sellers or the backyard, the underground, the independent, or the promo wrestlers, or anybody else that comes on here. If you have something we can do, I mean, I'm all for it. So, I mean, I got 100% support from me, and I'm sure that everybody else will, take care of that. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, so whatever, just, let us know and give me a link, give me some information, and we'll put it up, as soon as you get it, and we'll handle it. No big deal. I don't even think we need to auction. I think if people should just, donate $1 here, $2 there, $3 there. Even if it's $100 we raise, or $150, that makes a difference. That could make the difference in somebody's life, whether it's buying toys, whether it's buying something to eat, or medicine, whatever it is. So I mean, just let me know, and we got you back. I mean, that's we're all people. If we're a community, we got to support each other. I mean, I know, we went through a lot, I think, but we're here. I know a lot, was, certainly has happened in the past, but I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of people here tonight, and they come on through different shows, and I think that, it's got my support 100%. So, just let me know.
We'll work on it. We'll think of something good.
All right, so before we sign off, we'll get to some more comments. Yes, congratulations, CJ definitely earned it, and also, we did win the IMF tag titles. Who else we have here? Cash has been training Zilla. There you go. Good question. Speaking of people that will be here Monday night, the Prophet Jordan Crowley, brothers and sisters, rejoice, for I bring you good news today. And today's good news is the good guy may not be all that he seems. Son, the world will know, rejoice. Thank you. I think, speaking of people that you haven't got a chance to meet, which I wish you would meet, Chase Wakefield, who would like to say you got to be an 8-star superstar before you leave. Thank you, Chase. And
it's impossible.
Well, I'm sure somebody will think of it. And who else we have? Good evening. Also, ADT. Yes, shout out to ADT. And thank you for letting us come to RWW. Thank you. We want to thank Soldier as well for everything he does. And you got to give credit to the print, as you should. Much appreciated. RWW to me is just as much as mine as it yours. You mean all of the guys are on one team. Absolutely. Instagram, RWW. Yes, JX. Also, feel hard to say I appreciate the kind words, CJ. I loved both experiences at RWW. I'm hoping for more. Thank you for everything you've taught me. And our match is one, if not, of my favorite matches I've had so far. Much respect. Here. T Public Store. Thank you. Yes, thank you to CJ. And Soldier's got your back. I think a lot of people will be happy about that. Yeah, we'll share. Yeah, we'll take care of that. And we want to thank you. And anything you want to say before closing thoughts? Anything else that you'd like to say before we sign off and such?
If you haven't subscribed to RWW, please do. I noticed also IMF's at 4,000 now, so give them your support too. They've been killing it.
Oh my God, they're gonna get to 5,000 soon. They're not stopping. They're gonna hit 5,000 subs. I mean, they're gonna.
If you didn't subscribe to Tom too.
Appreciate you.
If you would like to hear any of my music, just search Chris Black, Who I Am, and I got an album that'll pop up for you.
I'm going to put that up before we sign off. I'm going to put that up in the description. Go ahead. Keep going.
Works for me. I hope 2026, it's going to be a little different, but I hope that with me being referee, maybe it'll help add to the match too. We saw tonight the possibilities of some of the matches that could be, crazy for next year.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And there you go. And there is his link for some of his music. You can see some of it here, right? Do I have the right page?
Yeah, that ain't me.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah, I figured that wrong. It's wrong link. We're going to take that off the screen. I have the other link. There we go. Okay, I see it right here. Okay, that's a typo. Okay, so
you get the picture of me doing it's like a half.
I got it. I got it. I got it. Yeah, I got the link. No, I don't have it. No, I got. No, I think I did have it. Yeah, maybe I have the right link now. Okay. No, I got
pop up on YouTube or not, but it's
not popping up on YouTube. No, YouTube. You know what? It has your song. I have the song, but it's popping me up to that link. Yeah, it has me. Let me put it through here. I'm gonna click it this way. Okay, we're gonna go like this, and it's still coming up with the same link. It's the same link. I don't know why. Weird. Yeah, it's a weird link, but I'm gonna put it up here. Still, I gotta wait for the commercial to play. And we'll take that off the screen, and then we'll put it up right here. I'll try it right one more time. We'll get it right. I gotta what? There we go. I mean that's the page. But it actually comes up to Oh Yeah Dakota. The handle comes up to Oh Yeah Dakota. So I don't know what. It's kind of weird there with that, but if you want to copy and paste it and hit the sub, you can see some of the music, and he'll post more of it, and we'll tag and add me, whatever you need to do. And we've certainly spoke a lot tonight. This is the good guy CJ Black, who has the final say on his in-ring career, and it is true, and say it isn't so, but it is true, but he will still be more involved, I think, than ever in the wrestling world, and we've honored him throughout the show. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in, because he's in the Hall of Fame not once but twice, and 2 more times today. And we'll give him those copies when we're off the air. And I'm going to pass the baton to you for any closing thoughts, anything else you want to plug, share, or say. The floor is yours.
Thanks again for anyone that's ever, watched my stuff and, hyped me up, honestly, because back when I was doing this the first time, we would get like maybe 100 views if we were lucky. And now like a lot of our videos, they at least get over 1,000. So that's nice. All the guys that have came out to us, once again, thank you. Because back in the day, it was just me and my brother, and we dreamed.
Well, look at who you've had. The AWL guys have come. Obviously, the IMF guys, Jack Delta. What a big deal it was to have Jack Delta. I mean, you've had Aaron Blaze. I mean, there's been really JX. I mean, another guy that's been out there. I mean, Mikey Mercer. Got to give him. Mikey's come out to you on and off throughout the years. I mean, you had Kyle. I mean, so you've had some really big names out there. I mean, you've had a lot of great people in the underground show up to ROEW.
Yep, that's something we dreamed of back in the day, and now it's a thing, and it's awesome to I still go back and watch some of our stuff from like 2023, 2024. Just last year, honestly, was my favorite year. I don't know about everybody else, but 2024, our roster was stacked. We had great
you guys went up. You guys went up. It was like, you went from the stratosphere. It was like ROEW was like must see TV. We talked so much here about ROEW because you had Aaron Blaze, you had Jack Delta, Big Man Cam. You had just JX. You had what was going on with you and Jason. You had like every week was it. Then James came in on the storylines. I mean, you had the IMF guys. And I mean, you guys were just, you're still firing. I think now you're back where you are. And Jason made a great point, and that he feels now that ROEW is back to the way it was last year. And I think he's absolutely right. I think ROEW is going to have another big run. It's going to be an even bigger run in 26.
Yep. And that reminds me about what he said there. And that was part of what we wanted. I was supposed to be ruining ROEW with my final say stuff, and that's what I was doing. So he was supposed to be the savior coming back, so technically he saved it. So there you go. And I'm not in charge.
It's supposed to be the outlaw. Yeah, I mean, well, Johnny's had a better year this year, personally, and I'm happy about that. But we're very happy about ROEW. We're very excited about the future of it, and we're gonna miss you in the ring. But look, I mean, you got to do what's best for you, and I think you explained the situation, and I have no doubt that we'll be talking plenty about what's ahead here in the coming weeks. And thank you. I want to say before we sign off, regardless of everything else, thank you for everything you've done for this sport. Thank you for your company. Everything ROEW has done for wrestling, not just underground, not just backyard, but all of wrestling. And to me, one of the biggest endorsements is having James Fury show up. And he said it here. And I want to remind people, I do it all the time. When a lot of people, I know when Jason had his thing with ROEW, I remember still saying, no, with James Fury, he said it to me on the air and off the air, said he liked ROEW. He liked going there. He liked going to work out. He thought it was a good product. He gave good advice. Johnny talked about that here on the show. So I want to say thank you to ROEW. And I want to thank all the wrestlers in ROEW. I want to thank them for all that they've done this year in helping Sportswire. And I want to thank them and everybody else that's involved in the product. And I really think, I know I'm forever an optimist, but I believe the best is yet to come. And I feel good about the way I see things right now in the underground and backyard wrestling community. I think things now are in a better place. I see people more interested. I see the last couple weeks, I see more people here. And I think we're in a better place also, outside the ring, because I think people now know they want to just get back to wrestling. I know you mentioned the drama stuff earlier, but I think people need to get back to the wrestling. And I think we're doing that. And I think you guys are going to play a huge role in that. And I think all the other companies that come on here are going to do that as well. And I want to wish you and your family a very happy holiday. So please let me know that information when you get it the next couple of days. We'll put that up here on Sportswire every night we're here. We'll put that link up, and we'll definitely help you out. And I want to say thank you again and congratulations on all the success and best wishes to you and your family. And we'll see you here soon on Sportswire Radio. I hope you come here a lot sooner than your last appearance. I think it was like 8 months ago. You made a little bit of a brief appearance here. So hopefully you make it a little bit, you, Jason, and Johnny, don't come here. I know James was here. Shout out to James, but it was like James hadn't been here like 6 weeks. That was like a big deal. I mean, so we got to make sure you come here a little bit quicker than that, hopefully. So,
we'll make it happen.
All right, there you go. But that is the good guy, CJ Black, the 7-star superstar. And he was here to talk about his in-ring career coming to an end, but also the future of RWW and plus some other things he wanted to say and more. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. I want to thank everybody here for tuning in. Also, if you're here on Sportswire Radio, be here a couple of times tomorrow. The first, I want you to be here at 8:45 p.m. Eastern time because this guy, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, he'll be here and he'll talk about his WWE career. And I promise you, he had a few things to say about certain people. So if you like wrestling interviews and you like this one, I think it's my best one I've done. I'm not just saying it because Jim Brunzell came here, but check that one out. Then we have on at 11:15, we have on the guitarist from the band Dangerous Toys, a band that had a gold record, and Megadeth, their producer who produced their big albums, Countdown to Extinction, Euthanasia, Ozzy's first 2 solo albums, God rest his soul. Scott Dal Hoover is here. He's going to talk about his brand new album, and he'll talk about his tour coming up next year. So check that out. And thank you, everybody here for tuning. We'll be in between that, the guys from Texas Promo Wrestling, so a lot of stuff there. And yes, thank you, CJ. Thank you for all that you do. My voice is really dry because this is my 3rd time I'm doing this. You only did this once. I did this 3 times, and I did it twice yesterday. So I'm going to go get a drink. And thank you, everybody. Hit the sub button for RWW. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, Global Radio. Hit the Sports Radio with all music and wrestling matters. Have a great day, everybody.